Taylor here, and we're continuing in our series, which is about here, regular people at Trinity, joining in God's work in the world. And I'm really excited because this is a great story of the work of the Holy Spirit, no less than that. And I want to say good morning and hello to Lisa Salisbury. Hey, Lisa.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, so Lisa, when did you and your family start coming to Trinity?
It was about the year 2000.
Wow. Wow, you were like 16?
Well, my kids were
Still
very little,
dating.
for sure.
That's great. And as we talked about this and prepared for this interview, you told me about how important going to one of those Alpha courses was for you. Can you just say a little bit about your experience of Alpha?
Well, it was a time that really changed my life. I had faith, built faith with God then, and I also developed a relationship with Jesus. And through the continued small groups that we did, I really felt that the Holy Spirit was in my life for the first time. And I had joy and peace in my life with my family, with my kids, that I had never had before.
Wow. So that's super exciting. And then you said, as we talked, you said that you went back to school and you spent some time in school and then got a degree and became a physician's assistant. And how did that affect just everything that was going on? I mean, it must have been different, all the schedule change, studying, work, kids. How did that affect that sense of closeness with the Holy Spirit?
Well, the whole process was about 15 years of between going to school and my career. And really everything was in my life was dedicated to school, and everything else, my husband, my family, church, was kind of on a back burner. I I just felt like I had to make that commitment to start. And I didn't realize it, but since I was less involved with the church, less involved with a relationship with Jesus at home, I really drifted away, from God, and I didn't realize it, but now when I look back, I didn't feel like the Holy Spirit was in my life anymore.
So, because when I showed up in 2018, you were still I think you were singing with CWT. You were still doing this stuff, but you felt like a disconnect, or you didn't even realize it, but it sounded like there was this disconnect. You had a little distance between you and your awareness of the Holy Spirit. So then on top of that, in those wonderful years of COVID, you were one of those select few that got the triple X bad COVID. I guess we would call that long COVID. So that was rough. And didn't you end up having to stop work because of that?
Yes. I had to stop work, and I still am not working.
Wow. So it had a big impact on you.
Yes.
And just when you thought that was the worst possible thing happened, maybe the worst possible thing did happen, and you lost your son in the very early part of 2022.
Yes.
So as I thought about you in this story, I thought, well, those two things combined should be enough to like put you out of commission. And so how did you deal with that? How was it that you got yourself back on your feet?
So, yeah, I really struggled. I was heartbroken with Sean's death. And in addition to grief, I was had a lengthy depression, which was something that I had depression when I was young. So I did recognize it. Um, I I knew that I needed God's help
Hmm.
to get through it. He had having a relationship with Jesus made such a difference years and years ago, and I didn't have it anymore, and I knew that that's what I needed.
Hmm. And so you described that you thought like maybe if I could get something, not alpha, not to go into a redo of alpha, but something that had that same kind of small group dynamic around the Bible. And you thought about it and you looked around and we weren't offering anything like that at the time. So what was your response to that?
So I decided I had to create a group. So I created an evening group so that for other working women like myself, and we started that a ladies' Bible study on Wednesday evenings.
Wow. And so I've been tracking it because I also run some groups on Wednesday. So every once in a while, some of your group members would come into our group and I have to say, no, wrong group. But that has really had an impact on a lot of people. What was its impact on you?
So it gave me the opportunity um, to reconnect with the Bible, learn more about God, and help my prayer life. So it really, a lot of the time with Bible study, I realized that God was telling me I need to prepare. He wasn't, I wasn't going to get the answers or that I needed immediately. But I kept getting messages that, okay, keep on reading, keep on studying, keep on praying. And it really did make a difference. And I had a breakthrough about a month ago.
Wow.
And I feel like my depression is gone. And I don't know that I'll ever stop grieving, but I definitely am more comfortable
Hmm.
with my son's death now.
Well, I'll say because while you were doing that and kind of getting rebuilt and reconnecting with the presence of the Holy Spirit in your life, we'll call it your comeback. While you were starting to make a comeback with the help of the Lord through this group, some other stuff happened that was pretty big. That didn't have to do with just inside of church. You and your husband developed the Sean Salisbury Memorial Scholarship Fund and the Coaches Fund over at Western Connecticut College. So, can you tell us just briefly what those two funds are?
So it's basically just supporting young coaches. Young coaches are, coaching is a full-time job, but universities can't pay everyone a regular salary, and so the young coaches just coming in, get the short end of the stick, and they only get paid part-time wages, and so they have to work multiple jobs to um, be able to cover their living expenses. So
And
we
that was
wanted.
and sorry, but was a factor in Sean's death, wasn't it?
Yeah. He was working two jobs and getting up at 6 a.m. for one job. I'm not sure his total hours, for both of them, but he fell asleep when he was driving home.
And so your funds there are really to kind of help them to see if maybe, you can get supplemental income for coaches so that they don't have to be working such crazy hours, these younger guys who are aspiring to be head coaches someday. And then there's the other coaches fund. The scholarship fund is to help coaches who are also going back to school, for advanced degrees. But the there is just it's called the coaches fund, I believe, and that's the one that is for just to help supplement income. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. They're both for coaches. Just one is we were able to establish under a scholarship. So the ones that are likely going to graduate school. to help them, and then the coaching fund is just for the younger coaches, and that's their, sole, their income, or that we want to supplement their income, or at least their minimize their expenses through the school.
That's a fabulous story because it illustrates so well what this entire series is that leads up to our Celebration Sunday, where we sign and hand in our pledge cards for our giving for this year at Trinity Church. We don't give simply to keep the doors open. We give, and hopefully we give generously, to sustain a community that worships Jesus, that helps people to come to know him and be transformed, and then to be sent and be empowered to join in the work that God is already doing in the wider world. So thank you, Lisa, for your story. It's so inspiring to all of us.